Aha. Gorou, Faruzan, Yanfei, Wanderer, and then the same thing but with Itto for this banner. These don't seem very good. If I was a new player, it would be really hard to wish on these or to recommend wishing on these. I've heard Faruzan has tons and tons of energy problems unless she's C6, which is really bad considering she's supposed to be an Animo support for a character like Wanderer or Zhao. I don't know if Wanderer's going to have any energy problems, but Zhao already has his own energy problems, so to get a character that is supposed to be a support for them but also has energy problems feels really bad. If you do want Itto, Gorou is good, but the other characters literally do nothing for him. And then it's just like random Yanfei. So this character banner, I don't know if it's going to be that good. As far as the way Wanderer works, I feel like he's going to be on sort of the same power level as Itto and Zhao, but probably less restrictive in how you have to build him, because he can do things with Pyro, Cryo, Hydro, and Electro, and he gets different bonuses from different characters in his teams. He'll probably have a little more flexibility, but he's very clearly going to be a hyper carry and not a character like Kazuha or Venti or Sucrose where you can just use them off field, use their skill burst, switch out, and then use everyone else. So you want to build a team around the Wanderer rather than making the Wanderer someone who you can just fit into a team slot. And then of course we've got this, which we've seen his weapon before, we've seen Redhorn before, and then the 4-star weapons we've got Warbow, Sacsword, Moon's Moon, and Fav GS. Really the only bad weapon here is the Eye of Perception. Everyone else is pretty good. The 5 stars are okay. Redhorn is really only for Noelle and Itto. I guess you could use it for other characters if you wanted to, but it's mostly good for them. And then his weapon, obviously it's best for him, but as far as catalysts go, there's a lot of other good catalysts, so I probably wouldn't just roll for this just to get one. What are these? Stellar Rivers. Oh, that's the new battle pass. So yeah, overall, weapon banners are trap. 4-star weapons are okay. Actually, most of them are pretty good. The Eye of Perception is clearly the worst weapon here. And then this banner, unless you're really going and committing all the way for Itto or all the way for Wanderer, I would not roll on this character banner. Save your wishes for either the second half with Raiden and Ayato, or just don't wish on this, or go full tilt and until you get Wanderer or until you get Itto. Otherwise, save your Primogems.
Hey everyone, just wanted to round out what I said on stream and give you a little bit more clarity. The weapon banner is actually pretty good. The 4 stars are pretty much all really nice except for the Eye of Perception, and the 5 stars aren't bad either. But as always, the weapon banner is a giant trap, but the 4-star Favonius weapons are really nice, so if you want to pick up a few of those just to round out whatever characters and teams you have, that's not a bad idea. The Sacrificial Sword is also very good and very useful, and the Spear is also really nice. It's called the Wavebreaker's Fin, by the way. I called it Moon's Moon, which is the bow, but the proper name for the Spear is the Wavebreaker's Fin, and it's essentially just like another version of the Catch, but slightly more offensively oriented. So if you ever wanted more than one version of the Catch for another character, then the Wavebreaker's Fin could be a good option for you. And there's one more thing I wanted to clarify and one more consideration I wanted to bring you regarding the character banner. This character banner isn't one that's really going to advance your account very much. What I mean by that is just about every banner has some sort of on-field DPS options, but you also want it to have lots of support options for you. In this case, we have Faruzan as a support for Wanderer and Gorou as a support for Itto, and then Yanfei, who's an on-field DPS that doesn't need or actually want either one of those 4-star characters on the team. And then of course Wanderer and Itto are on-field DPS characters that want their own specialized supports, and each of them has one on this banner, but the other characters literally do nothing for them. So this is pretty hard to recommend because if you don't have a lot of characters or are looking to build out your account, the characters on this banner really aren't going to help you do that very much. With that said, I want to give you some examples of characters to look out for on future banners. The 4-star characters I'll talk about here are really good for your account overall, and they're very versatile that you can put in a bunch of different teams. Furthermore, these characters have pretty good constellations, so if you're wishing for a specific 5-star character and these 4 stars just happen to be on a banner, any constellations you get will be welcome. So a list of these really good 4 stars to look out for would include Bennett, Fischl, Jingqiu, Sayu, Xiangling, Kuki Shinobu, Sucrose, Beidou, Rosaria, and Diona. There's also characters like Layla, Toma, and Hazo that are not bad on their own, but they do want a little bit more support for them to really come alive. And most of the other 4 stars are pretty niche, so you may not want to go all in to try and get those characters. Now the final consideration I want to talk about is if you already have Itto and are going for Wanderer. In this case, this banner might actually be pretty good for you because you can get constellations for Gorou, you can get Faruzan for Wanderer, and maybe a random Yanfei here or there. So if you already have Itto and want Wanderer, wishing on this banner is not a bad idea because maybe you don't have Gorou, or maybe you do, but you want some more constellations for him, then this banner is a pretty good value for you. But for most people, especially if they don't have a big roster of characters to choose from, I would avoid this. I'm hoping this information is helpful for you, but if you do have specific questions, feel free to leave them in the comments below and I'll get to them as soon as I'm able. Starting from patch 3.3, we'll be back to our normal patch length of 6 weeks, so we'll have 3 weeks for Wanderer and Itto, and then 3 weeks for Raiden and Ayato. This means you'll get a little bit more time to save and make your decision so you won't feel as rushed as you have since 3.0. And if you're wondering about what some of the best characters are overall, I just did a video on that and posted it yesterday, so go ahead and check that out. I love you all, have a wonderful day, stay jawsome, and until next time, may order guide you friends. Can't wait to see you in the next one.